Before we begin today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to
Buzz TV. Buzz TV brings you their own spin on Android devices like the Nvidia Shield and the Amazon Fire Sticks, taking software to the next level with their own app helping you stream anything, anywhere. Buzz TV listens to you, the customers, and consistently brings you the latest and greatest when it comes to hardware, software, customer service, and experience right out of the box.
And to find their products, guys, make sure you guys do go to buzztvglobal.com.
Don't forget to click the link in the description below to get yourself the latest Android device right from Buzz TV. With all that being said, let's start the show.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Beyond the Streams. If you guys are listening to whatever podcast platform you're on, make sure you guys do leave us a comment, leave us a review. We've been actually reading through them and we really do appreciate it. If you guys checked out the title of this, we are interviewing Digital Slang. Now we're gonna give him a second here to really say who he is. But I don't know about you, Next Level, but I think this is going to be super cool, man.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to be a great conversation. I can't wait.
Yeah, man. So right off the bat, I want to, if you can, Digital Slang, let the people know who you are, what do you do, and yeah, just give them a good introduction of who Digital Slang is.
All right. Well, my name is Jeff, and I do have the YouTube channel Digital Slang, as well as a second channel called Slangcast. And I'm a YouTube creator, love tech. I'm kind of crazy about tech, actually. And headphones, earbuds, cell phones, whatever it is, tech related. I'm like a kid in a candy store, man. I just want the biggest, the best, the shiniest, sometimes the most expensive, but that hurts my pockets.
Yeah.
But I just love tech and I love to talk about tech. So that's kind of how I got into YouTube, right? Everybody in my real life, I should say, nobody really enjoys tech the way I do.
Yeah.
So I just wanted a place to, we all start out watching YouTube, right? And listening to all the creators just got me excited. So I just wanted to share my opinion, and that's why I started the channel.
It's pretty interesting because when you say that you want the best and you like playing with all the shiny and fancy stuff, we had a really, really brief conversation before we hit record. And just by, holding that conversation when we're talking about the Rodecaster and the different microphones, and just seeing that, you shared similar interests to me, I was like, okay, yeah, you're on that next level. You want those big shiny toys.
Yeah,
you're interested in the best quality sounds, the best quality, everything. Yeah. You want to make sure that you're full production. And I was, you had my interest right from there. I was like, oh, let's go.
Yeah, I'm always trying to improve. No matter what I have, if there's a way to improve it, I want to do it. I'm not the best creator, like imagination wise, and there's tons and tons of people better than me, but at least I want to sound good, right? Or at least look as good as possible with the video. So maybe that'll make up for the lack of imagination or, things not being up to par. But again, the way I look at tech, man, it's just big toys. It's toys for adults.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I don't know what you're talking about that you're trying to, I guess, blend in but your videos, just looking at it, I think it's pretty good. I think your production on it, it's a lot of. I'll tell you this: when I first started doing this, I was nowhere near the level that you were at, like the way you do your stuff. Mine was just like my quality was bad. I think I was 720p. I don't know. I was just horrible.
Crazy, right? My first video, I look back at my first 50 to 70 videos and I want to throw up in my mouth. They're so embarrassing, but that's what we have to do, right? You just have to hit publish sometimes, even if you don't like what you're doing.
Yeah. Now you did say with your family that you're you're probably the most tech savvy, audio savvy. Um, they're probably the ones also asking you all the time, hey, what's a good headset, or what's a good cell phone, or why is this better? Or I'm pretty sure they bug you on that, huh?
They do now. You know, it took me starting the channel for them to even have a conversation about it. You know, I have a bunch of nephews and nieces, and they were always they're into tech too. Not as much as I am, but they have always, you know, been interested in it with me.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's everybody, right? It's friends, it's family, you know, I got text messages this morning from a guy who wants to pick up the Z Fold 2. And I was just, yeah, absolutely. Go get that thing if you can, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Now, before all this happened, before you landed on YouTube, before you you finally said, hey, I'm going to start a channel. I'm going to start recording myself. What did you do before? Like, what was it that you were doing before? What inspired you to really get to the path that you were in?
Like, what job did I have before? Or
yeah,
I still have that job. I do YouTube, you know, after work every day. So my main job, I have a screen printing and embroidery shop here in Jersey.
Oh, cool.
So I make t-shirts pretty much every day, and I've been doing that for, man, it's got to be almost 25 years now.
Wow.
So a long time. And it's not something I intended to do when I was younger. It just kind of happened that way. Mm-hmm. And I just ran with it. And I started my shop maybe 3 years ago now. And so I do that full time. You know, this crazy pandemic filled year kind of slowed things down for me a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was able to pump out more content on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But that's basically my daily grind, right? I go to work from 5:30, 6 in the morning. I'm done by 1, 2 in the afternoon. And then I come home and I make videos. I'm going through a divorce right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to hear
that. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man.
So
we've all been through that.
Yeah.
We've all been through that.
She's still my best friend. Like, she's still my person, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But saying that kind of just freed up my time to just kind of worry about myself. So it's just work. Right now, it's just about work. It's work at the shop and then work home with YouTube.
You know, for myself, I went through mine about, I think it was just over 2 years ago. And when I went through that, we were working together with our own business. And once I had gone through that process, it freed me up to create everything that was on the back of my head.
Yeah.
So content creation and, you know, creating a podcast, even like those are all things that I had thought about, but never thought I could actually do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting how, you know, I mean, I don't know if you want to say it's a bad way of putting this, but when one door closes, another one always opens. So you just got to be open-minded and look for those opportunities.
Yeah, it's so true. I didn't actually start the channel until we were separated. And, you know, when I was together with her, we had talked about it for a long time. She actually bought me my first tripod and was trying to push me to start it. Mm-hmm. And then for whatever reason, the way it worked out, you know, I think fear held me back originally. I didn't want to put myself out there. And it's crazy. Like you said, one door closes, another door opens. And when you're alone in a brand new apartment and you have nothing to do, it's kind of easy just to start and try it. Right.
Yeah. Like, what do you got to lose?
Yeah. You might as well just give it a shot.
So I wanted to ask you as well, digital slang. Yeah. Where does digital slang come from? And how long have you been called digital slang? Sometimes we get our YouTube names way before, and it's something that just happens. Mm-hmm. So is it something that's you could kind of, you know, maybe you've been slanging that digital term for a while, or like where does digital slang come from, and who really is digital slang?
So digital slang is actually a buddy of mine's comic book.
Oh, wow.
And he's an artist from Philadelphia, and his name's Leonard. Leonardist is his handle. One of the most amazing artists I've ever seen in my entire life. I worked with him. I met him, you know, in the t-shirt world. He was a designer at a clothing line I was working for, and his talent, I've never seen anything like it. And he started a comic book. It's an urban comic book based, you know, about life in Philly, and it's called Digital Slang. And for years, I just really liked the name. And then, you know, talking to him, he's been on my streams before, and just talking to him, I asked him, like, I'm trying to start a YouTube channel and I really love the Digital Slang name. Would you mind if I use it? And he was like, yeah, no problem. Have it, you know, do whatever you want with it. So I was like, awesome. And that's kind of where it started. And
That's cool.
It's only been 2 years.
Mm-hmm. That's super cool. So, my channel, it's called Rohas Reviews. I originally started as Cody Tutorials. Have you ever heard of an app called Cody?
I don't think I have. No.
No. So I'm sure you've heard of the term jailbreaking your Fire Stick.
Oh man, jailbreak.
Yeah. So, you know, people use these third-party apps and they put it on there. Then you could see all these movies, TV shows. Like, there's so much stuff out there. So with my channel, I actually did an app called I was reviewing an app called Cody, and it was literally for a solid year. That's all I was doing. Just that app, how to get different add-ons, different like builds. A build is like everything pre-installed for you. You just download it and it's all done. And with my channel, I'm like, YouTube started to I guess demonetize people or strike people for doing that specifically, like Cody specifically. So I was like, man, I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to keep doing this if YouTube's going to shut me down.
Yeah.
And I hit 100,000 subs in a year.
Wow. 1 year?
1 year.
Wow.
And it was basically because I was doing things that a lot of YouTubers weren't doing. I wasn't just showing, hey, here is the app or here's the add-on. It's like, hey, here it is, and this is how you get into the settings. This is how you can make it really good. This is how you can make sure you don't buffer, or you get enough links, or you get enough something better quality. It was always like really detailed on what I got into it. And every time something landed, I was one of the first that was talking about it. And I didn't spam like certain add-ons or apps within it. It was always different, but I was hitting the algorithm so hard that I was just getting like hundreds of thousands of views all the time. So it grew, you know, like insanely fast. I'm just like, this is nuts. So when I got there, and then YouTube started doing all this stuff to other Cody YouTubers, I guess you can call them, that were much smaller than me, I'm just like, okay, I'm a lot bigger than them, and if they're getting in trouble, I need to do something about it, because I do not want to lose that many subscribers. That's a lot of subscribers to lose, you know. So I changed the name. I went from Cody Tutorials to Rohas Tutorials. It was Rohas Cody Tutorials, and actually I was using my last name Rohas with a J. But a lot of people couldn't say, or they saw it and they were calling it Rojaz, you know? So I'm like, dang it. So I did the most, I don't even know, like, I don't even know what's the right way of saying it, but there's an image that I used and I made it look very German. I put an H instead of a J with the 2 dots on the accent on the H. So it was like Rojas, you know? So there's no way people could butcher my last name. And a lot of people started to now, oh, it's Rojas. It's not Cody Tutorials anymore. Some people even forgot about my channel, about Cody Tutorials. They thought I actually just disappeared. I never showed my face. It was just the screen of the app, and that was it.
Right.
So that's my story. That's how I then said, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do this as Rojas Reviews. I'm going to stop doing the Cody stuff. I touched on some streaming apps for a little bit, and then I'm like, I need to get into tech, period. General tech, anything tech related. That's what I'm doing. So it's been, if you watch the El Jefe interview that we did, he was talking about how hard it is for people just to pivot, you know, you have all these people that are used to listening to you, and then all of a sudden left turn, you know?
Yeah.
So
It's difficult. I've been going through something similar with that, with the pivot. And how long have you been on YouTube?
For 3 years, almost 3 years now.
Yeah, that's insane growth for only 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's right now I'm sitting at 129. So, you know, the first year I got to 100,000. The second year I was at 115,000, and right now I'm at 129. So, I'm hoping to hit 130, so that way I could say like, well, I still gained 15,000.
Yeah,
you know, from last year to this year.
Yeah.
But it's been much harder because I'm not used to, you know, I was used to seeing, like, if I did a bad video, 10,000 views on a bad video.
Right.
If I did a mediocre video, 100,000 views.
The algorithm is all over the place sometimes, though.
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
It's hard to kind of narrow down what you need to do all the time.
Yeah.
You know, my story, I'm not going to make it as detailed as that one, but it's actually kind of funny. I know that we talked about, you know, going through divorces earlier in the beginning of the interview, really. But my ex-wife at the time used to use similar applications on her phone to watch movies. And she came to me one day and she's like, this app isn't working. Can you fix it? So I was never really big on watching TV shows and movies. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a look at it. So I eventually found out that the application that she was using was being geo-blocked for anybody that was outside of the US and the UK, right? And at that time, everybody that was in Rohas's and I's niche on YouTube was from the US and the UK, and I'm from Canada. So I dropped a video on that application, and everybody who wasn't in the US and the UK watched it. It hit 300,000 views, and I was like, wow, is this normal for dropping a video? Because I didn't know anything, right? So then I dropped a couple more videos, and I dropped another one of that one, and they all ranged between 50 to 300,000 views. And I was like, well, I guess I got to do this. Yeah. But now, I mean, because obviously the algorithm changed, YouTube's been a lot more strict on what kind of content they want on their platform. I'm also having to pivot right now. So I'm trying to obviously, you know, not just change the kind of stuff that I'm creating, but also up my game. So we talked about microphones earlier. Like I'm changing what I'm passionate about, because to be realistic, I was never really a huge TV show and movie person, but now getting into, you know, production and getting microphones and cameras, and I just built a computer, like one of my first computers that I've built in like 15, 20 years, it feels like. So that's where, you know, maybe sometimes our passions pivot, not just our content.
This is a grind, right? So when you do something that you actually enjoy and you're passionate about, it makes it so much easier. Right. Burnout is so real, right? It gets tiring. The constant grind, the constant of what's next. What do I have to create next? But if you're doing something, if you're talking about things you like or love and are very passionate about, it makes it so much easier.
It's smooth like butter. It just rolls, right? Yeah. Just like, this is me. This is me on camera. It's the same person.
Yeah.
You get what you get.
It's more raw, right? It's even for me, like now, I just talked to somebody about this last week. It's still hard for me to put my real personality out there, even though I'm just talking basically to a camera, right? It's not like there's 1,000 people in the room and I'm talking to them. I'm just talking to a camera in an empty room, in an empty house. And it's still very difficult for me to kind of just be myself. I'm getting there, but it is hard. And I do like when you see a creator, when I watch creators and I see them just, you know, being loose and just being themselves and talking about things they're passionate about, I'll watch every video they make because it's just more real to me.
Yeah.
That's where I'm trying to get to. Whether I get there or not in a year or 10 years, we'll see.
Yeah. Now, how you said that you were pivoting too. So what were you doing before?
Yeah. So I started my channel in 2019. And it was May 2019. And in December, the day after Christmas last year, my channel was hacked and stolen.
Oh man.
Wow.
And, yeah. And I had almost 8,000 subs at that time. And that's when the channel that you see now started in January of this year. So YouTube eventually did get it back for me. It took them 6 months. I got it back, I think, in June of this year. So now I have 2 channels. Mm-hmm. But that channel was based on basically AirPod clones, right? It was all like clones and fake phones and all kinds of different clones. And that channel did really well at the time because I always wanted a pair of matte black AirPods. Mm-hmm. So I found a fake pair of AirPods, I made a video about it. And at the same time, Unbox Therapy made a video about it. So that video blew up. And I was doing November, December, I was gaining like 4,000 or 5,000 subs just at the end of last year. And then that channel disappeared. But all those subs followed me over to the new channel, and all they want is clones. So I'm trying to not do that anymore. I like, I'm moving in. My first love was always cell phones. Unfortunately, they're very expensive. So I couldn't just start doing that. I had to start with something else, something that I could afford. And that's kind of where reviewing earbuds and headphones came from. But I do want to transition away from the clone market, even though 50% of my followers, that's why they're there. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's just not something I'm passionate about, right? It was just, it's kind of just where I started because, I got lucky with the video because of Unbox Therapy.
Yeah. And we follow him too. He's got a lot of stuff.
Everybody follows Unbox Therapy.
Yeah. And I do love earbuds and headphones, and I'm going to keep doing that, but I'm going to stay away from clones. But every day I get messages about clones, and I can tell it's made a difference that I'm not doing it anymore because month over month, my sub list has gone down. My watch time has gone down, but I accept that because it's not where I want my channel to go.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do what I'm passionate about, do what I love. And if it takes a long time, it takes a long time. I'm okay with that because I'm doing like what we talked about. Like I'm passionate about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So if it's slower growth, then so be it.
Now, I will say, I started when I was doing the whole Cody stuff, I started another channel called Laughs. And it was going to be originally just like gaming stuff. And I had my PlayStation plugged in. I was, just playing Call of Duty or zombies or whatever, just Battlefield, just anything that I was just there, just blowing people up. And being in the military, one of the things that they used to call me, this was literally day one. I was in the Marine Corps, and day one boot camp, they're yelling at everybody. They had everybody stand in line, and I'm just there like, facing front at attention. And one of the drill instructors says, when I ask you a question, you guys better open up your cock holders and sound off. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, did he just say cock holders? So I had a smile because I just couldn't, I just couldn't contain like how funny that was. So one of the things they called me in the military was Smiley. And that's one thing. If you ever talk to any of my family members or anything, they're like, dude, did the military change this guy? Nope. They're like, this guy's still the same clown. He still laughs about everything. He still cracks up. That's the one thing that never went away, is just laughing. And so I made a channel called Laughs originally. And it was just me destroying people, just cracking up, talking smack, trolling, just talking shit pretty much the whole time.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Yeah. It was a blast. And, I finally, I was looking at it and it wasn't there was no growth on that channel. It was kind of like I had some people that were following me, and I'm just like, I'm looking at my Cody channel, and I'm like, dude, this thing's like blowing up. Why is this other one not blowing up? I'm having fun,
Yeah.
So then I said, hey, I'm gonna do tech related stuff, and then afterwards, I'm just like, why don't I do that to the Cody channel? Because I'm gonna stop doing that. So then I turned the Laughs channel into World of Rohas, and that became more of my travel channel now.
Okay.
So I show a bunch of, wherever I travel, I take a video. For tax purposes, because you can get a lot of tax write-offs. I would go on a cruise. Hey, I recorded the cruise. I had to do content for my channel. There it is. This is how much I spent, And with my Rojas reviews channel, the big channel, it was just too much of stuff that I was getting. So this year I created another channel called Streaming Box Now with just Android devices. So maybe with your other channel, maybe that could be something that, if you have a passion for something else, I personally, I would say I would use that 8,000 subs that you have on there and do something else that you like. And because now you could have two different channels making two different sources of income.
I did. It is still monetized. And I did, over the course of the 6 months of it being inactive, I lost close to 3,000 subs on there.
Mm-hmm.
Once everybody knew that it was hacked too, they just disappeared. So now it's sitting around 5,000 right now, but I do use it for every Friday night. I do live streams with a buddy of mine. So tonight we'll be streaming, and I do more of a podcast style video on it. Like nothing fancy, no B-roll, none of that, but I'll shoot like Note 20 Ultra after the hype, and it'll just be me talking like this, talking about the Note 20 Ultra, and just more raw, right? Not trying to put on like a whole production like the other channel. So I've been doing that, and it's gained a few subscribers here and there, but I do enjoy doing it. And my buddy, he's a big gaming nerd, and he comes and helps me talk Friday nights. And I try and do like a creator spotlight every Friday night on there, where I bring smaller creators on there. Like anybody that has a channel is welcome. And so tonight, like I have a special guest coming on, and it's just, I think I'm going to go that route for now with the channel. And I call it Slangcast. I kind of like the name.
Yeah, that's a good name.
That's cool. Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes, if it gets any traction or not. But even if it doesn't, I've always wanted to do something like this, even before YouTube. Like, I tried to go to a school when I was young for radio. I tried to join Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I paid my deposit. I paid them thousands of dollars the week before it was about to start. They emailed me and said they went bankrupt. So I've been trying to do this for years. So I think this is just my way of doing it on my own terms.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that second channel is somewhere where you can really just let loose, because you don't feel as obligated to put out, as high production value, maybe?
Yeah, I think I'm getting to that point. Again, I don't think I'm there yet to fully be myself, but I think it'll happen there first before it does on Digital Slang.
It's funny how you say it'll happen there first before it happens on your main channel. Rojas and I, we started roughly about the same time. He started maybe a year before me, roughly, give or take. But for the first year on both of our channels, we never showed our face. We always did screen recordings, or we showed, devices or whatever, and it was just our voice. I started with whatever I had at the time. I was just doing screen recordings on my cell phone, and then I upgraded and I got a Rode Mic Me, so I plugged that into my cell phone, and then I just kept going from there, right? You use what you got.
Yeah.
But both of us showed our face on somebody else's channel first.
Oh, wow.
Before showing our face on our own channel. So it's always interesting how we're able to kind of let loose a little bit more somewhere else versus our main soapbox.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think that is, that you guys didn't want to show your face? Was it fear?
I think it's Well, at least I think it's a common thing with a lot of new content creators. At least
Yeah.
maybe it's in our niche because a lot of us are just, TV and movie nerds, so we're not used to looking at ourselves.
Yeah, for
I don't
me, I would say for me, I was just doing the Cody stuff, and it was just easy for me to show the screen and edit, and that was it.
Gotcha. It is. You're putting yourself out there every time you hit publish. I mean, you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it's true.
Tough. I've had people that I've asked to come on to the stream before or the channel, and they wouldn't do it because they didn't want to show their face.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a common thing. Well, not everybody in our niche likes to give personal information due to, the content and everything else like that. There still are channels out there who don't show any of their personal information, personal face, not even their names, nothing like that. There's a lot of channels that have gone up and down because of the content. We've seen channels hit 1 million subscribers and just disappear. We also have seen, we did a podcast, a video recently with another YouTuber called Tech Doctor UK. And Tech Doctor UK, he's getting close to 200,000 subscribers. And just like you mentioned earlier, he actually got hacked and his whole channel got taken from him. They actually changed the email addresses, everything. They took it all away. And he talked about in that podcast how it took him 3 to 4 months to get it back and how much of a struggle it was for him. I was just kind of curious. Like you said, it took 6 months. What did that 6 months look like to you?
It was awful. I got to be honest, YouTube was terrible. Terrible. The communication between myself and YouTube, I must have emailed them in that 6-month time period 70, 80, 90 times. They might have emailed me 3 times.
Wow.
Every answer to my emails was basically, we're working on it. Just stay patient. And I'm watching, because that's what happened. They took everything and they were posting videos on there. And I mean, silly stuff. Like first they put like pimple videos on there, like how to pop pimples. And then they were then they had reruns of The View on there and they would constantly change the name. And I'm just watching this happen. And honestly, it almost made me quit YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, well, YouTube's not helping me. I posted 100 and something videos in 7 months. Like I worked my tail off to get to this point, and then just to have somebody take it away from me. And once it happened, I knew I was in trouble because I knew I was a small channel. YouTube isn't really going to make it a priority.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. So January, February, I'm sitting here just deciding, like, should I even try it again? Like, I didn't want to. It was Christmas time. It was the holidays. I was excited where the channel was going. And then just to wake up one morning and to not have access to anything is very disappointing.
It's horrible.
And I think the only reason I kept going was, well, I'm not going to stop loving tech, right? I'm always going to love tech.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always going to be going onto YouTube to watch other creators. And I already have all this equipment. What am I going to do with it?
Right.
Well, just keep doing what I'm doing and just start over. And that's what I did. And I'm glad I did it, but I still think about it and get disappointed about it.
I think there's a common denominator with pretty much everybody who we've interviewed, and even Next Level and myself. YouTube needs to be better at what they do. It's very I don't know. It's kind of like they're in business to make money, and
which is okay, right? That's okay.
Yeah, which is fine. There's everybody who has a YouTube channel. It's kind of like that dream of like, dude, I can make money by just sitting behind my computer and I turn on the mic and the camera and boom, let's record and I can make some money off of this. This is pretty nice. And the thing is, I don't think people realize this, but a simple donation, if somebody says, hey, I want to give you, it's like somebody's giving you a tip. Here's a tip. Here's $10.
Yeah.
YouTube takes $3 off of that already, 30%.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wait, what the hell did you guys just do to deserve that tip? Just because they're using your super chat system, you want to take a cut?
Yeah.
I understand with when we have our, we post the video and then they have an ad. And I want to say we get paid, what is it? We get like 58% of the ad revenue.
It's around there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's around there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm just like, wait a minute, we're doing all the work for it, and it's almost a 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, hold the door. Why? Like,
when they first started taking 30% of my super chats and my donations, instead of initially getting upset, well, okay, after initially getting upset, because you're like, why are you taking my money?
Yeah.
I started doing some research, and I mean, not just Google research. I started actually looking at the videos which got more super chats versus less, and what I started seeing was the ones that got more donations actually got recommended better than some of the other ones. So then I was like, okay, cool. You're taking some of the money and you're recommending those videos better. You're doing some work. But after doing, these live streams and videos and contents for a little bit longer now, I'm kind of like, and talking to all these creators, I'm like, I would rather them have a place for us to talk to them.
Yeah.
Then you know what I mean? For us to reach out and ask questions or have a live chat support. Maybe we can't have a live rep because, I mean, channels with over 100,000 subscribers, cool, that's a bonus. You get a live rep you could talk to. I get it. But maybe for people that are, just after monetization, that can unlock a feature where you can have that live chat support, where you can shoot off a question. Maybe they don't answer right away, but you can see a name and they read it and they responded the next day or something along those lines. Like, that would be cool. I would rather them not promote my videos as like, well, they don't really promote them, but like add more value to them taking 30% of my cut or 40% of my ad revenue. Give me those features, right? Support us as content creators.
I completely agree. I think it's a fantastic idea and I wish they would do that. And they make enough money to do that.
mm-hmm.
Right. And they can do something like, I'll take the United States as an example, but they can separate it and just have, somebody that represents the East Coast and the West Coast. And, it can be done. They make so much money that it can happen. And communication with creators is pretty much non-existent. I have more communication with YouTube on Twitter.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like on Twitter, I can communicate easier with YouTube.
It's true. It's true. And I actually just found them on Twitter 2 days ago, and I was like, dude, is this where I communicate with? They have their own platform.
Yeah, they actually answer you on Twitter, where on YouTube, it's days before they respond to an email. And that's all you can do. You can't get somebody on a phone.
Yeah. And when you do get somebody on the phone, it's very like, go to the YouTube community tab and search for this, and there might be a forum, or if not, you could create one. I'm like,
yeah, they never give you an answer. They just tell you to either wait or send you somewhere else.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's
what it is, as big as it is. What is it? The second biggest search platform besides,
it's the second biggest after Google, but it's owned by Google. So it's all the same thing. You Google something, and then it has a video tab, which shows YouTube. Your first couple search results is YouTube videos sometimes. It's like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, they should make it a lot easier for us, especially as creators, to just have somebody to talk to.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they are nickel and diming a lot. We've done a podcast. There was actually a news article that came out saying that they were so extremely understaffed that some of their employees that were reviewing content were going through like almost like PTSD. Like they were because they were reviewing all the videos that got flagged. Right. And some of them are like, they're not very nice videos to watch. Like some people are trying to upload some really vile content to YouTube.
Yeah.
I understand it's not the same as, contents that we upload and gets flagged sometimes. Like there's some
crazy people out there.
Bottom barrel humanity stuff that people just try to upload. So, they really should be looking at investing in their platform to clean it up. And that all starts with their employees, right? They have to, make it a better place for their employees, increase their employees. And then if they do that, like, I get it. There's so many content creators out there. There's I think 1 billion YouTube channels.
Yeah.
So because there's so many of us, they don't care about supporting the individual. They're supporting the collective, right? But at that point, they're kind of cutting their legs off, because without, grooming and supporting the kind of creators that are already trying to make a living or a life on their platform right now, then they have to keep repeating themselves. Like, if we have a video that gets flagged right now, they're not really telling us why. Like, I had a video last month or the month before that got flagged and made for 18 plus only. I didn't swear. There was no nudity. There was nothing. And they were like 18 plus. And I'm like, but why? Yeah. And there's no response. There's nothing. But if they actually take the moment to sit back and be like, these are the reasons why this video got flagged, or these are the reasons why this happened or that happened, you groom the content creators to become better on the platform you already have.
There'll be
Instead
more
of trying. Yeah. Like, to me, that makes more sense.
They just don't want to put in the work. And what's sad is that we have freedom, right? To a certain extent, to talk about what we want, upload what we want. But at the end, they have all the power.
Mm-hmm.
They can basically do whatever they want to us.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's the sad part. They could change the rules if they want. They don't have to tell you. Huh?
They did that, I think when I started, they had just changed the monetization.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that when they added the yellow icon? It used to be just green.
Yeah. And they changed the watch time that you needed to be monetized. And it used to be a lot easier to make money on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. I started my channel. Oh, well, I started the Rohas reviews and then the World of Rohas. Rojas reviews was I would say several, like almost a year before that happened. And then the World of Rojas, I think I started that channel, oh man, maybe like 6 months before that happened. So I was super lucky because I got the emails saying like, hey, this is going to be coming soon. The monetization, this and this and this. And I'm like, what? So I got monetized on both channels before all of that stuff happened. And I'm just like, dude, like this sucks. And even with, I started the Streaming Box Now channel this year. And then next one, I started this platform Beyond the Streams. Going through YouTube, like we're very consistent. We do our research and we put all the tags, the descriptions, the thumbnails, titles. We make sure everything fits and is talking to each other and does everything right. And it's such an uphill battle. It's like a constant, it's like trying to run a marathon, but the entire thing is straight up, You
constantly have to adapt and learn how to do it right. And they don't really give a lot of information for you you kind of figure it out as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You make mistakes. Like you said, your channel was hit. Like you make mistakes. I have a couple of streams that I did on Slangcast over the past 2 months have been partially demonetized. And I still don't know why. It's not like we're in there cursing or doing anything like that. There's no reason to it. Mm-hmm. And I can't get an explanation for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what to change. I don't even know where to go. Or
what to do.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm just thankfully other channel. I'm just going to keep going.
Well, I think the one of the biggest problems is that it's all automated. It's all a bot that flags it initially, and we don't know. I don't even think YouTube knows what this bot is flagging and for what reasons. They just kind of let it do its thing. Yeah. And then when you actually request a manual review, they are so backlogged that they're just like, whatever. It all depends on It all depends on how that person's feeling that day, or how stressed they are at work.
Yeah. Size of the channel, I think, does make a difference. You guys know John Prosser, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
His channel was recently stolen.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I think he was able to get his channel back in a week and a half.
Well, he had a lot of people spamming and attacking and be like, yo, John Prosser's channel, John, because he has a very dedicated and loyal following. Great channel.
Yeah.
Right. But his followers are very dedicated. They're very loyal. They're very interactive. And I think when you have a following that is interactive, they're very impactful. If you want to make a change, your following is going to make that change for you.
True.
How many subs is he at?
He was close to 200 last time I checked, right?
I think 300 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what the bigger the channel is going to get YouTube's attention first, which I understand they make YouTube more money, but at the same time, it should be a little more fair.
It's I started talking about this with Rohas last night, actually, but without the right staffing, they could actually be making less money. The first year on YouTube, I had close to 1 million views, and I made a few $100 versus, that usually pays well over 1,000. And the reason for that was I made all those views, but then YouTube took 6 months to monetize my channel.
Right.
So it's like I'm getting all these views, and YouTube's just like, please wait in the queue.
And that's all that work that you put in. You put in a lot of work for that.
Yep.
And you hit that milestone, and you want it to it should just happen. You shouldn't have to wait. After you hit that milestone, it should just automatically happen.
Yeah. I mean, they already qualify your videos if it's monetizable or not.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. So they know if your channel is making videos that is, well, acceptable in their eyes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So this is now towards the end of the show. We normally ask our guest if there's anything that you'd like to say, anything that you want to tell the audience. You want to shout yourself out with your YouTube channel, how to find you, some words of wisdom, anything that you want, man. Go ahead and take the platform.
Well, you can find me on YouTube, Digital Slang or Slangcast. You can find me on Twitter, digital_slang, and on Instagram too, but I'm not really on Instagram too much. But Twitter, you can find me pretty much for the most part. But all I can really say is, look, life is tough. Life is difficult. Don't ever give up. Keep grinding, because you never know where somebody will come and just say the right words to you to keep you going. And don't be afraid to put yourself out there, man, because life is difficult, especially this year in 2020 during the pandemic. A lot of people are going through a lot of difficult things. So just keep your head up, keep grinding, and just keep trying, man. Don't stop.
Digital, I love what you do. I've absolutely had a blast during this conversation with you. I do hope to have many more conversations with you. I have to ask, would you be willing to come back and do another podcast with us? I've actually, as we're having these conversations, I would even love to have you on one of my live shows on my channel and talk a little bit about audio, or maybe home audio, and how to kind of transition away from built-in speakers on a TV, and where do you go next? Or, I think that you would add a lot of value to our followers and our community. And I look forward to having a lot more interactions with you. So I thank you for a fantastic conversation, a great podcast on behalf of Rohas, myself, and Beyond the Stream. So thanks, man. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I'm glad we connected. I'm glad I joined that stream the other day from El Jefe. And yeah, anytime you guys want me on, I'd love to come on and just kick it with you guys. And same with me. You guys are always welcome. I'd love to have you on. Again, it's Slangcast on Friday nights. It's just kind of a laid back stream every Friday night around 9 p.m. Eastern. We do it. We stream for a few hours, just hanging out, chilling. And then Saturday nights on Digital Slang, I just started streaming. And this Saturday, I'm doing a birthday stream at like 10:30 at night, I think it is. So anytime you guys want to come on, chill, hang out, BS, man, you guys are always welcome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I want to say also, like, I'm really glad that you did post the comment while we were watching the El Jefe.
Yeah.
It was like when you put digital slang, I'm just like, wait a minute. I'm like, is he a YouTuber? Like that's the first thing I did, and I'm like, hey, next level, look him up real quick. And he was just like, yeah, he's got a YouTube channel. I'm like, send me the link. And I remember the Jefe said, he said something like, oh yeah, like digital slang knows what's up, and I'm just like, okay, it would be cool to get you on the show. So that's why I was just like, email me, hit me up and let's see what we can get going. So, I just want to thank you on behalf of Beyond the Streams. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Now, there's a couple things that we do say here on the show for all of our audience members. Make sure you guys do check the description below. If we are on whatever podcast, we're just about on every single podcast platform out there, plus the YouTube, so you guys can see the video. If you are listening to us, you guys can go to just search Beyond the Streams on YouTube. You'll be able to find the video, that way you could see our faces. And if you like the audio, that's cool too. Make sure you guys do leave us a comment below. If you want to follow Digital Slang, in the description, we will post his links and everywhere where you can get a hold of him. And with all that being said, everybody, you guys take care and take care of each other.
And stay humble and be patient. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.